Hi everyone, good morning. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis, and we're feeling good on this Friday.
Absolutely, because we celebrate it, Channing.
That's right.
Brandon T. Jones said happy Friday to those who celebrate.
And
Brandon,
we celebrate Friday.
Fridays around here.
We celebrate big time, and I also know Channing's celebrating as well with her Dallas Mavericks on over there.
I'm deliriously tired right now, but that's okay.
Congratulations to you, but it is going to be an awesome start to our week. And as we take a live look over there in Lake Coeur d'Alene, oh, look at those geese. Shout out to the geese. That's our bird of the day right there for this good old Friday. And we're going to get some sunny skies here on Friday as well. Temperatures warming up back into the low 70s after a couple of days with cooler temperatures, and then also expecting some late Sunday rain as one of our weather headlines. I'll tell you a little bit more about that here a bit later in the show.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to hold a press conference in just a couple of hours at 8 a.m. local time at the Trump Tower in New York. Now, this comes after a Manhattan jury found him guilty of 34 felony counts yesterday.
So what's next for the former president? Trump's sentencing is happening on July 11th. He could face jail time, but it's unlikely because this is considered the lowest level felony in New York, and he has no prior convictions. Other punishments could include a fine or probation. There is expected to be a lengthy appeal process, and it's possible the judge would allow Trump to avoid serving any punishment until after he exhausts all his appeals. Right now, Trump faces 3 more criminal cases. However, those cases are bogged down with appeals, and it's not clear if they will go to a trial before the presidential election this November.
Now, with Trump's sentencing, it'll be just days before the Republicans pick him as the 2024 presidential nominee. So we talked to a political science professor about what this means for his chances at staying in the race.
The president could be in jail and run for president, even be elected, but they could not serve as president from jail.
Now, Trump could run for president in jail because of a legal opinion from the Nixon administration. If he is elected, the federal courts will have to decide what happens. So here are some of the options that they could decide on. 1, the courts could release Trump for his presidential term and then make him finish his sentence when his term is over. 2, they could end up invoking the 25th Amendment and say that he's incapable of being president and therefore hand power down to his vice president. And 3rd, Trump could just simply step down himself. Now, our Seattle station also asked former State Attorney General Rob McKenna and former Governor Gary Locke about Trump's guilty verdict. They both say that this is not likely going to have a major impact in the upcoming presidential election.
It is base, but it's not a good thing for him, obviously. It'll hurt his prospects overall.
I'm not sure that it's really going to affect the election that much. It may actually help his chances to raise money among his hardcore base, but among the undecideds and those who are concerned about the rule of law and the image and the example that a president sets for the rest of the country and for the future generations, I think it will hurt him in some of the key swing states.
Pouring in from both Republican and Democratic leaders in our area. So, Tim, what are state leaders saying this morning?
Well, Channing, within minutes of the verdict coming down, social media exploded. Many people reacting, including local politicians. And I want to show you this one first. Tiffany Smiley is running for the U.S. House of Representatives. She wrote on social media, quote, "This weaponization of our judicial system sets a terrible precedent, and the American people have been clear that this trial is not going to change their support for Trump. Going forward, I'll continue to support Donald Trump's campaign and look forward to voting for him in November." And we heard from Idaho Governor Brad Little, who said, quote, "The American people will deliver the only verdict that matters in November. Hashtag Trump 2024. We are also hearing from the chair of the Washington State Democratic Party, Shasti Conrad. In a statement to KREM 2, Conrad wrote, "Convicted felon Donald Trump is wholly unfit to lead our nation. His conviction today by a jury of his peers demonstrates the lengths convicted felon Trump will go to and the law he will break to get what he wants. Another 4 years of power at the expense of hardworking Americans." And Washington GOP Chair Jim Walsh wrote in a statement to KREM 2, "The trial has been a circus from the start. The charges are dubious. The prosecutors have made their political biases evident for all to see. And the judge has undermined his own credibility in a flamboyant, cartoonish manner." We will continue to track the reactions from state leaders in both Washington and Idaho and bring you those as they come in.
The presidential election, it does raise the question, could he pardon himself? Casey Decker with our National Verify team has that answer.
Donald Trump has been convicted by a New York jury on 34 counts of falsifying business records. The conviction won't stop him from seeking a second term in the White House or serving if elected.
Here at Verify, we got several questions from viewers asking, if he becomes president again, can Trump pardon himself from these charges in New York? Let's verify. Our sources are the New York indictment, New York penal law, the U.S. Constitution, and the U.S. Supreme Court. The Constitution gives the president sweeping powers to issue pardons, allowing them to reduce or cancel punishments for crimes. The Supreme Court has ruled that they can issue these pardons at any time after the crime has been committed, meaning they don't have to wait for a conviction. There are only two established limits to this power. One, the president can't unimpeach somebody, including themselves. Two, the power applies only to, quote, offenses against the United States, meaning federal crimes. Pardons for state crimes go through a different process, which varies by state but often involves the governor or some sort of pardon board.
Trump's conviction is for state crimes, not federal. He violated New York penal law, falsifying business records in the first degree.
So we can verify, no, Trump could not pardon himself in the New York case if he gets reelected as president. Presidential pardons apply only to federal crimes. Trump is the subject of several ongoing federal criminal investigations, and whether he could pardon himself in those cases is a topic of extensive debate amongst constitutional scholars, one that would potentially have to be settled by the Supreme Court. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
If you would like to know more about Trump's conviction and the possibility of him becoming president, text the word Trump to our number 509-448-2000. We'll send you a link with all of that information right to your phone.
And let's go ahead and take a look at what we can expect temperature-wise for the day. Live look over there at Lake Coeur d'Alene. It's 45 degrees currently right now, so that's already starting to go up a bit. We started a little bit at 44, so winds moving about 8 miles per hour. Excellent start to our morning as we take a look at some of the other surrounding temperatures as you listen to some of those finches. Tweedly dweet deet deet. All right, I don't know. That was probably doing a little too much at that point. But hey, let's take a look at 42 in Coeur d'Alene, 29 down there at St. Mary's. St. Mary's, you guys will be pumping it up here pretty soon. I know it's a bit chilly as you start your morning, but we're expecting highs in the low 70s for the day and maybe high 60s in some of the other areas, but nonetheless, a pretty good day for us here in the inland Northwest. I've got your full forecast here in just about 10 minutes or so.